Bob Dowd is on the agenda with a few items of grants, and I believe he also has, that's not listed on the agenda, has another agreement with the task force. And as you see, Gary Verna has been brought in because a portion of this is the HazMat. And then once Bob's done, I want to, Bob, if you would stay, I want to go into some of the building construction things, if you can hang on there.
All right. Good morning, everybody. I don't think I said that when I first came in. So I am Bob Dowd, the Director of the Department of Emergency Services, and I have with me Chief Gary Verna of the HazMat team. The first item I have is an updated, actually I'm asking the commissioners to execute an updated South Central Task Force Mutual Aid Agreement. And what's changed here is Schuylkill County is now part of our task force. So it's now a 9-county region, and this new agreement reflects that. Otherwise, it's the same, basically the same agreement.
I'll make a motion to approve the amended agreement for the South Central Task Force to include Schuylkill County.
I will second. Any further, Jamie?
Yeah, just a quick question, I guess. What region were they part of before? I mean, who were their neighbors in their?
I honestly am not entirely sure. Okay. I don't know the name of the region, but the line stopped with us. So the counties north of us, I believe they were in the same region with Berks as well.
Yeah. And was there a compelling reason, or this just made just in general more sense, or was there something that they were interested in, geographically or otherwise?
I mean, geographically, I believe they align with us very well, as well as Dolphin. And I don't know what the background behind that change was, but I know that there are several other counties that are also merging into other more geographically appropriate task force regions.
Okay.
I agree, Bob. Route 81, the Swatara Creek, the Swatara State Park, we share a lot in common with Schuylkill County, so I think it's a good move.
Okay, if nothing else, we'll seek the vote, and all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, so moved. So moved. All right.
The next item is asking the commissioners to accept the 2020 HMRF report, which Chief Verna will present.
Morning, Gary.
Good morning.
Morning.
So the HMRF report is everything previous year, 2020, that we have to support to PEMA. It deals with our finances. It deals with call volume. It deals with everything for the local emergency planning commission to make sure we're compliant with that. There really isn't a huge amount to highlight, except for the amount of responses that we have over doubled from 2019. And that is even with all the COVID restrictions and less traffic on the highways. And just for a while, industry or business shutting down for a little bit. So, and just to compound with that, this year we're at 15 incidents already for the year. And just put that in comparison, it took us until the end of February last year to have our 15th incident response. So this is gearing up to be just as busy as last year. But we were able to, every dispatch we were dispatched to, every incident we were dispatched to, we handled with our crew. So, and we even went to other counties to assist. So if you guys have any questions with that, I can most certainly answer them or attempt to answer them.
I do have one question, sir.
Yeah, go ahead, Commissioner.
Thank you. The calculated result of county entries, 374,953.85. And then the number one is the balance of non-lapsing restricted funds of 429,398.25.
Yes, ma'am.
Is this in an account or the general fund, or where does that money lie?
This is not in the general account. Per Pennsylvania Act 165, the Hazardous Materials Planning and Response Act, each county is required to have a chemical safety program or a hazardous materials response fund account separate from the general fund. this is something I'm proud about because we cost taxpayer essentially no money. We're able to operate, we're able to keep the county safe, the county residents safe, and keep businesses running essentially at no cost to the taxpayer. So this is all funds that are collected with the Tier 2 planning reporting for the chemicals that are reported, and also our incident responses.
Okay, well, that makes sense. So how much have you, oh, I'm getting an unstable, can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, my message, I don't know what's wrong with my internet today. How much did you bring in that you would consider, I guess my question, I lost my train of thought there for a second. I was wondering how much you spent on repairs on the Station 50 truck this past year.
On the truck. So we have our fleet is 4 pieces of apparatus. One of our trucks is a 1988 Mack E1. I don't have that figure on me. Maybe I do.
You can get it for her and get.
Yeah, I'll get it for you. But we're coming. We have a vehicle replacement program along with our maintenance. We keep track of that to the cent. So with that truck, it is getting awfully close to nickel and diming us, so to speak. And it's getting to the point where it's soon in dire need to be replaced.
I would really like to see those statistics because I saw that potential replacement there, and it looks real good. I like old vehicles, so I just want to justify it. And if you don't mind sharing some statistics with me, I'd really appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely.
Thank you.
And just to clarify, that money that's coming in allows us to replace this apparatus at no cost to the taxpayer at all. This is all going to be sustained through the HazMat program and Act 165. So
Yeah, we get
that
those
apparatus
numbers.
that apparatus at the Lebanon County Firemen's Convention 2 years ago won Best Appearing Antique. So
I think that's cool.
Well, yeah. Okay, thank you. My only question was, which is kind of, I'm sure it's just a placeholder, but what's the $1 project budget?
that's so
Placeholder.
sorry, I should explain that better. So that $1 placeholder is, this report also determines how much we get for the Hazardous Material Response Fund grant that'll come out probably in March. The PEMA will go off of this report to determine how much we received from that. In the 4 years that I've been here, it's been around $17,000. So I'm hoping to increase that amount because we've increased the number of Tier 2 facilities that report. So
Very good. All right, thank you. Motion to accept this HMRF report.
yes,
So moved.
please.
Second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved.
the next item we have is requesting the commissioners grant us approval to apply for the RERF grant. Also, Chief Verna will present this, and I believe this will be the last year that this grant exists. So,
Yes.
You want to do the acronym?
I'm sorry, James.
Spell out the acronym.
The Radiological Emergency Response Fund.
Okay, go ahead, Gary.
All right, this is money that comes from 3 Mile Island. It's sent through PEMA. PEMA distributes it in grant form. As the director said, this is the last year we're going to be receiving this. We're slated to receive a total of $15,018. And what I'd like to use that money on is to improve our technology on scene. As I state in the program overview of the grant, I'd like to take the full $15,000 and put it towards improving our tracking with our decon operations for a RAD incident, our overall operations for a RAD incident. I mean, we're developing between the director, myself, and our IT Administrator Ben Polchinski were really developing a program with forms that we're going to be able to share between what's going on scene to our emergency operations center. If there's patients, to the hospitals, we'll be able to have forms that follow electronically to the hospitals, and also up to PEMA's EOC if need be. So this is what we want to put the money towards. I think it's something that would greatly improve not only our RAD response, which is the purpose for it, but also help us with other areas of our response.
Okay, motion to accept the application.
I'll make a motion to accept the application for the $15,018. So moved.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. Gary, keep up the good work. Thank you.
That's all we have for the agenda stuff. I think we're moving on to building things.
And then I just wanted to keep Bob here. Not sure there's a role, but there could be a question, I guess. I have the agreements for the emergency services building that we've talked about now on a number of occasions that we're planning to build here in the next over the next 2 years. I have the agreements between the owner and the architect and the owner and construction manager for this project. And these are a significant part of the cost, obviously, is to design a building and oversee the construction of it and make sure it's built to the specifications that we ask, and shepherd through the bidding system, bidding process, and so on. So one of them is broken down into two segments, which is basically the pre-design and the construction period. But first, I've got an agreement with Beers Hoffman Architects to conduct the design, and you have copies of these. I believe it's broken down into various different phases of services, beginning with schematic design, design development, construction documents, subject matter expert services, which is something we don't typically deal with, but in the case of a 911 center, these are really critical. This is really critical infrastructure. Not very many firms deal with this kind of facility, and so we have engaged the Schrader Group who participates in a lot of 911 building projects across the country, and they are the subject matter expert providing service to Beers Hoffman in this case. Structural engineering services, mechanical, electrical, and plumbing, as well as reimbursable expenses. The total cost of compensation for these scopes of services and the other ancillary firms that are going to be paid to do the work through this is $1,826,967. That comes in, I think, somewhere around it's around 3% of the overall project cost for the architectural fees. So I also have an agreement for the construction manager, but I would take well, let me go through that one, and then you can probably take two separate motions on them. But the second one I'm presenting is for construction management services, and that's with Pelger Engineering and Construction. Ned Pelger, who you've all met and know, was involved in our courthouse addition, which is now 20 years ago, believe it or not. But we have a lot of experience working with Ned. He is a very capable, very diplomatic. He really, in that instance, represented our interests well. We've now worked with him for probably the better part of a year leading up to the planning stage, and I hope and think that Bob Dowd would agree with me that he has become a real asset to this project and has taken on some things that really his earning his keep. So Would have that contract with Pelger Engineering, and that one is in two separate phases: pre-construction phase services, some of which we're already into, of course. That would be $290,000. That would lead up to the point of awarding a bid, for the last year or so, and up to the point of awarding a bid, which I expect to be coming this fall. And then for construction phase services, which is essentially the daily oversight of this project and dealing with all of the various contractors who've been awarded the bids, that portion is $740,000. So that is approximately 2.7% of the overall project. So altogether, you're looking at about a 5 or 6% cost to the design, construction, and construction management of this whole project, which I think is a fair percentage when it comes down to this. Some are higher, seeing 10 and 12% in some projects. So
All right, I'd like to entertain a motion. Let's
May I
entertain a
ask
motion.
question,
Well,
please?
let's get a motion on the floor.
I'd just like to ask my question first, please.
Well,
Can you please explain the difference in square footage? We had talked about 46,000 and some, and it's down to 38,000. What has changed?
originally it was 40,000 was the original number, I think, back in, there's two buildings, but back in October. Bob, you might have a better memory on this. We're down to the a bit of a smaller footprint, but a final footprint at this point.
The most recent number I have is on a note somewhere on my desk, but it's not 38,000. I'm not sure where that's coming from.
In the contract.
It may have been an estimate that Ned put in.
Yeah, approximately 38.
Okay.
Okay, that would explain it. I couldn't understand the difference in the numbers. I hadn't seen a new drawing.
It's right around 48,000, right around 40,500 square feet. I don't have the note in front of me. However, it hasn't changed. I think there was a hallway that we took a foot off of because it was just unnecessary space to bring it into code, but there has been no significant changes to the footprint of the building since
Thank
we
you.
first opened.
I appreciate that explanation. I'll make a motion to approve the contracts.
we're taking them separately. We'll do the architect and
Okay.
owner first.
All right, I make a motion for the $1,826,967 architect contract.
I'll second the motion. Any further discussion or clarification? If not, all in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign, so moved. Now we'll entertain a motion for the owner and construction manager, Ned Pelger.
Okay, I will make a motion for Pelger Engineering. I think that comes to like $1,330,000 to oversee the building of the 911 center.
That's right.
Yeah, Jamie's nodding correct, I believe. So we have a motion, and I'll second that motion to pay the contract manager during this process. And my only comment, since we have the motion and second, is that this is going to, as I've said before, impact every citizen of our county. And in cases of problems in other counties, we'll be, spilling over and helping them with our technology and so on, and responding when needed. But also, the scope of this is going to serve this county for several decades to the future. And so this is not the kind of thing you certainly want to have anything but the best team, which we have employed here, and because you want to get this right and have to get it right the first time. So that's the confidence that we have in this team, and appreciate Bob in guiding this through, as you have with the coroner's comments. We appreciate what you're doing on this side of the ledger as well. So with that, I'll ask all in favor of this motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign, so moved. Okay.
If I could indulge you, there's one more component to this, which is Michael McGrady Consulting, which you're all familiar with. And I don't know if Bob Dowd, do you have that one handy? If not, I'll go next meeting. But McGrady is also providing some oversight in terms of tower location, lines of sight, in general, oversight of the whole of the project from their perspective, and additionally, they've assisted with identifying funding over the years, where we can draw down some potential from PEMA. But
I do have it, and I just emailed it to you.
okay.
So and just to clarify the scope of work that MCM is handling, it's the technology component with this building. It's all the specialized infrastructure that goes inside it. MCM is responsible for that piece, and they're subject matter experts in this. They have been doing our technology planning for years. So.
The fee for their portion of this, I'm sorry I didn't put this together with the other two, but their fee for the portion of this, and again, they've been involved since we started even the visits to the two other facilities and so on, some of which they've been involved with themselves because they have a lot of counties as their clients. But throughout the life of this project, it would be $240,000 for all of their staff hours, travel, printing of documentation, insurances, etc. They're involved so far with every meeting we have, every visit we have. And I know that just most recently they assisted with the bore drilling, test boring, and locating the footprint of where the tower would be there. So one difference to point out with this contract, if I may, is that they're going to bill us on a time and materials basis, so it's not to exceed $240,000. It may not actually get to that point. okay.
All right, if it's your pleasure, we'll entertain a motion, Commissioner.
Yes, I think that MCM is a proven commodity for the County of Lebanon to be trusted, and with Bob's oversight there in DES, I will move to approve a not to exceed contract of $240,000 with MCM Consulting.
Okay, I'll second the motion and agree with your assessment of McGrady's work with us in the past and how we look forward to working with his expertise with this technology part of this project going into the future. All in favor of the motion, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, same sign. So moved. All right. Any other loose, Jamie? That's
I
good.
think that's it for Mr. Dowd.
All right. Okay, Robert, thank you.
Thank you, commissioners.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Jamie,
Keep us informed of those mass vaccination places if you get vaccine.
I think a lot of that is going to the planning is going to start to become a little clearer in the next week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. So
Yeah, with Johnson & Johnson coming out, I think that'll work.
okay. Thank you, Robert.
Thank you.
Jamie?